Hi, this is Claire from Beardy Papery, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card using the Altenew Doodle Blooms stamp set. We're going to be doing some heat embossing and a little bit of watercoloring on vellum. I'm also participating in the Altenew Video Challenge number 4 as a guest designer, and I will have more details on that at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. To start the card off, we're going to take the Doodle Blooms stamp set and we're going to heat emboss 2 of the images in gold onto some vellum. I'm going to brush over my vellum with some anti-static powder tool. If you don't have this, you can always use cornstarch. They both serve the same purpose of removing any extra static on the surface that you're stamping on, so that when you cover your image with the embossing powder later, it only sticks to the parts that you stamped. I usually don't have problems stamping with Versamark onto vellum, especially when I use these outline images, but if you have issues getting crisp, clear images on your vellum, I have a video that might be able to help you with that, and I will link that in the video description and on this video. So now that I have those heat embossed, I'm going to color them using Dusty Concord Distress Ink. I just smushed it against my clear block and added some water, and I'm just going in and adding little dabs of paint here and there to the leaves. It's pretty simple. If you wanted to, you could add more color. You can use your Zig color brushes if you wanted to. You could use Wink of Stella. There are a lot of possibilities for this. Just, have fun with it. So I bought the coordinating dies to go with this stamp set. I don't always buy coordinating dies for stamp sets, but I felt that it was really worth it for the stamp set because this is a very versatile stamp set. You can use these leaf images for a ton of different occasions, and they're very intricate stamps, so trying to hand cut them would take a very long time. So I thought the coordinating dies were well worth it. So with the leaves die cut, I'm just going to set those to the side and then take a white card base that I already have scored and folded, and I'm going to stamp the background on it using the rest of those leaf images. So before I stamp this background, I'm going to take a piece of masking tape that will serve two purposes for this. One, it's going to mask off the back of the card so that when I'm stamping my background, I don't accidentally stamp onto the back of the card, and it also helps pin my card down to the surface so that it's not moving all over the place. Before I add my masking tape down, and I usually do this whenever I'm masking, actually, I like to kind of rub it along my hand or some kind of fibrous surface so that the tape kind of picks up some of those fibers or the oils and just loses some of its tackiness so that when I'm pulling the mask off later, it doesn't pull or tear at any of the fibers on the paper or the cardstock. So I have that part of the card masked, and I also die cut a circle and mask the center of the card. That'll just kind of make the sentiment stand out a little bit better. Now we're going to stamp the background using all of those leaf images, and one of the reasons why I really like this stamp set is because it comes with a lot of large images and some smaller images. So when I'm stamping my background, I like to stamp the large images first, and then if I have any little pockets of area that weren't covered by the large images, I can go in and cover those with the smaller leaf images. With the background stamped, I'm going to arrange my leaves, and then I'm going to adhere them down using glossy accents. If I had a preference, I would use the Ranger Multi-Matte Medium adhesive, but I didn't have that, so I just used my glossy accents. The reason I would use the matte medium over the glossy accents is because if you don't position your leaves right the first time, you kind of wiggle them around, sometimes you can see a little bit of the glossy accents trail, kind of smear. So you just have to be extra careful with the glossy accents. When I'm adhering these leaves down, I'm adding adhesive to the part of the vellum that is already naturally resting against the base of the cardstock. The leaves are kind of curling up, so what I'm doing is I'm adding the adhesive kind of like to the spine of the leaves. So that's the part of the vellum that's already naturally resting against the cardstock, and the glossy accents will actually kind of make the vellum curl a little bit more just because it's wet, which I actually liked for this card. So I heat embossed a sentiment from the Beautiful Day stamp set, and then I'm just inverting the corners with a small hole punch. I used to be obsessed with mini things like staples, mini hole punches, so it's kind of a handy tool that I have from a very long time ago. And now I'm just going to use a little bit of foam adhesive to just pop up the sentiment, and then that finishes off the card. If you wanted to, you could add gems, you could add Wink of Stella. I just decided to leave it as it was and kind of curled up the leaves a little bit more, but I liked the card as it was. So I hope you enjoyed that. This was part of the Altenew video challenge. This month is Anything Goes. So all the details for the challenge I will have linked in this video, and thank you Altenew for having me as a guest. I really enjoyed this. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them on the video, or you can go to my blog, which I'll also have linked. And then supplies will be listed on this video and on my blog. Thank you for watching and have a great day. God bless. Bye.